and Moses was the only one that went up to God, so he had a privilege to be in his presence and not die, which is incredible.
And just like glowing, spoilers, glowing afterwards.
Yeah, he spoiled it again. Yes, he did glow from the glory after being with God. Chapter 24, Exodus. Covenant confirmed. In a world where Israelites and God agree on the covenant. What is covenant?
Covenant is when it's an agreement with each other, and that it's like can't break it. Okay, so if the one does something, the other one also
Suffers.
Yeah. So basically, if I stab you, you stab me.
That sounds like eye for eye kind of justice.
Okay, what is covenant then?
So covenant is, you're right, an agreement that I will do this and you will do that. In this case, it was the covenant that they are loyal to God. They don't worship other gods, for example.
So it's also like to keep peace more.
It's to keep peace. You can even say covenant can be like an employment agreement. For example, you pay me this amount of money and I work for you and these are the things that I need to do for you. And then your obligation is to pay me, for example.
Yeah.
That's a covenant or an agreement.
Okay.
Or even a marriage covenant is, for example, be loyal to your spouse is, for example, the most important thing. Or one of the most important things. The other thing is be loyal to God, of course. So a covenant is usually a written agreement. And in chapter 20, that was of the 10 words, the 10 commandments, where the covenant was starting to be written.
Yeah.
Also chapter 19, he met with them. And here, they were confirming their covenant with him. And they actually set up 12 stones.
Okay.
Do you know why?
12 stones.
12 stones.
Because of the 12 disciples.
No.
In the future.
No.
Foreshadowing.
Not really, but it's
Okay,
12 tribes.
Okay, 12 tribes.
Yes.
Okay.
So 12 tribes.
And there was 12 tribes in the whole camp.
In the whole camp of Israel.
Okay.
And that was representing a marker. You can say that all 12 tribes present, they agree to this covenant. And Moses wrote everything down, which is one of the hints that Moses wrote Exodus. Also, the first 5 books of the Old Testament.
How many stones is it with the world wonder of stones that stand?
5, 6, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Look into that.
But anyhow, Moses was the only one that went up the mountain into the cloud where God was. And cloud is usually a symbol of God's presence. Just like Jesus will return on a cloud.
I just think of, the Mario game with the cloud that you can ride.
Yeah.
Thinking like in that picture.
But a cloud was also the thing that God was in the day, and at night it was a pillar of fire. A pillar of cloud. Or, for example, when Jesus was on the Mount of Transfiguration, God spoke from a cloud. So a cloud represents God's presence, if you think about it. And Moses went up to the mountain, and he was there 40 days and 40 nights, didn't eat anything.
Wow.
He was the only person, other than Jesus, who was able to do that in the Bible. 40 days. That's more than a month.
I would say
a long time.
Someone who was willing to try that.
There are probably people that also did it. I wouldn't try it. I think it would be way too long.
No, 4 days is quite intense without food.
Yes, imagine 40. That's
10 times longer.
10 times worse. And what's cool is this is a parallel to Jesus when he was tempted in the wilderness. Also, Jesus' temptation in the wilderness symbolizes the time that the Israelites were in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Because they were there, spoiler alert, for 40 years. And he was there for 40 days and 40 nights. And 40 means preparation.
Yes.
Usually in Hebrew, the numbers actually mean stuff. 2 means witness, 5 means grace, 7 means complete.
Okay.
40 means preparation. 12, I can't remember what 12 means, but it's also an important number. Because of 12 tribes, 12 disciples, 12 months.
It's interesting how numbers
so
has
forth.
such a significance in the Hebrew language.
But it's because it's such a deep, rich language that they have one word, but it means so many different things.
And therefore, we're still trying to interpret what it actually means.
Yeah.
Because one word means plenty of things.
Yeah, and that's why you have to look at what I think it's either the form or the function of the word, and that's how Hebrews approach the scriptures. And I want to just check what was the other things that happened in here. Just going through the notes. Right, so this was a confirmation that the people agreed that they will obey the book of the covenant. They will not overstep their boundary. But spoilers, in chapter 32, they did worship the golden calf. Which, of course, is sad, but if you think about it, we usually say to God, I agree that I won't do that again. But then we make mistakes. And in the previous episode, you asked, how do you learn from that? And that is through repentance, accountability, and confession, and letting God lead you.
You can always try again, but there's just that fine line of really trying again, of repenting, and then it's like, you'll forgive me. Let me just try again, but not put in maximum effort in trying.
And that is actually true, because people can say, oh, God will forgive me anyway, but then you're not really understanding grace.
I think people take the word try for granted, and we should not use that word.
The word try?
Yeah, I tried my best not to sin, but it's like, you do or you don't.
Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. That's actually very true. Because when you try, you do an effort, but you don't do it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It's half-hearted. But if you do something about it, then,
I
gave my everything.
You will make it work.
Even if things go wrong, you do your best.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So, it's a very short chapter. They agreed that they will be obedient to the law, and Moses was the only one that went up to God, so he had a privilege to be in his presence and not die, which is incredible.
And just like glowing, spoilers, glowing afterwards.
Yeah, he spoiled it again. Yes, he did glow from the glory after being with God. Just imagine what that would have looked like. He had to wear a veil because it was shining so much.
Yeah, wow.
That's chapter 24, short and sweet.
See
and
you guys
chapter
in
25 will be about offerings for the sanctuary, the Ark of the Testimony, table for showbread, gold lampstand.
Nice.
Stay tuned.